Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, a minority of one. Thrilled to have you in person here on the Rich Eisen Show. An honor. Thank you for coming.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming here. So the documentary you've seen, it was a premiere in New York previously, and then last night right here in Los Angeles, there was one. Magic was there last night? Who else was there?
Oh, geez. James Worthy came, A.C. Green, Norm Nixon, Byron Scott, Mitch Kupchak, Lucius Allen.
So they all came out in force.
Yeah, they all came out to see it and to lend some support. It was really great having them.
So why this documentary now, Kareem?
I've been very jealous of my privacy, and I guarded it in ways that have annoyed a lot of people. And even my kids don't really know me the way I feel that they should know me. So I figured I would do this now. I had to take care of my dad after my mom passed, and I found out so many things about his life that I didn't know. He was the mystery man to me, and I don't want to be that to my children or my fans. Mm-hmm. So I figured I'd better speak on some issues that have followed me and that have made people wonder, what was that all about? Figured I'd talk about it and try to clear the air and at least give people an idea of, what my take on it was.
So what do you think was the one aspect about the air clearing that this documentary takes care of for you?
Well, just to give some reasons as to why I was who I was. I have always been concerned about civil rights issues. I remember when Emmett Till was murdered in 1955, I was 8 years old, and I wanted to understand it, and my parents couldn't explain it. Mm-hmm. And I started to focus on what that issue was, having to do with civil rights. And it's something that I pursued and wanted to support. Freedom, justice, and equality for all Americans is a serious issue.
And we're showing a photograph of you along with Jim Brown and also Muhammad Ali and Bill Russell. What year was this photograph taken?
That's 1966 or 1967.
And what was going on here?
Ali had just been stripped of his title, and Jim Brown wanted to get everybody together to see what we could do to help Ali. And as I was only 20 years old at the time, they wanted me to come and more or less represent the youth, American youth, especially from the black community.
And so who reached out to you for that?
I think Jim Brown's organization.
Jim did?
Yeah.
Essentially?
Yes.
And so did you have any reservations at the time to do anything like that?
No, I loved Ali at that point. After he knocked Sonny Liston out,
yeah.
I thought he was the greatest guy in the world, and I didn't like the way that he was being treated. Mm-hmm. His refusal to stand for the draft was really heartfelt, and they weren't giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Now, was he the inspiration for you to change your name as well?
No. I started to investigate Islam, and really Malcolm X, reading his biography, really made me interested in Islam, and I eventually became Muslim.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm here with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar here on the Rich Eisen Show. Nowadays, a photograph like that for an issue in regards to, you could just choose any issue essentially in American life. You really wouldn't see a photograph of two great basketball players, the boxer of the generation and the best football player, sitting there talking about cultural issues, political issues. You just don't see that anymore. I'd love to get your thoughts as to why do you think that is, Kareem?
I think right after World War II, civil rights became a primary issue for all black Americans. Mm-hmm. Didn't matter where they were from, if they worked in an auto factory or if they had a job as a professional athlete. All black Americans felt that civil rights was an issue that had to be won, and now was the time. So I think there was a lot more unity in the black community with regard to that specific issue. Mm-hmm. And Ali had made a number of stands promoting civil rights and just equal treatment for black Americans. So we all loved him for that, and we absolutely loved him for what he did in the ring.
But today's athletes, today's stars.
It's a different different landscape now, you know. But there were a couple players in Cleveland when Tamir Rice was killed so needlessly. A couple of guys on the Cleveland Browns who have young children, they were concerned about that because that could have been their son, and they spoke out about it. So I think that it's what happens in time, really, that determines whether people will speak out on it or not. LeBron James came out with the "I Can't Breathe" on his warm-up jersey because he didn't think that the way that Mr. Holder got killed in New York City was, you know, that it was needless.
But do you speak to some athletes today to be more proactive?
No, I don't. I don't speak to them to it. I can only, in my own way, provide an example and some logic.
So are you disappointed in many of the athletes of today in that regard?
It would be, I would, somewhat. I think it's a generational thing. I think the present generation really doesn't understand how tough it was to get to this point, and how the struggle goes on. It didn't end with the enactment of the Civil Rights Act. All right, that was back in the late '60s, and it didn't end then. That just changed it to a different footing where Black Americans had the legal means to fight discrimination. But discrimination still is part and parcel of what we experience in America, and we still have some work to do.
Well, you said that Michael Jordan in particular has chosen commerce, or chose commerce over championships. What did you mean essentially by that, Kareem?
Well, I think I said he chose commerce over consciousness. Just the fact that it is more important for him to be making money than it is for him to support someone who was making a stand on civil rights issues. I didn't think that, you know, it can't be convenient all the time. You know, it can't, the situation can't be perfect for you to have something to say and not have maybe your business affected by it. And he didn't want anything that he said to affect his business dealings. He's a very successful businessman.
Yeah, I meant consciousness instead of championships, because obviously what I said didn't make much sense. But do you think you lost out on endorsements because of that?
Certainly I did. And people thought I was militant, and you know, my own personality. I'm a pretty shy person. I just wanted to play the game and go home. You can't do that. While I was at UCLA, Coach Wooden told us not to talk to the press because they could be a problem, and I embraced that a little bit too much. That's not the attitude that you need to take when you become a professional athlete. You work hand in hand with the press. So you have to accommodate them, and I was very reticent to do that, and you know, I paid a price for it.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is here on the Rich Eisen Show studio tonight at 10 p.m. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, A Minority of One, a documentary you should definitely see, certainly DVR it. We're back in just 60 seconds of the clock with more chat with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar here on the Rich Eisen Show. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show at KAJ33 on Twitter, known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the greatest scorer in the history of the NBA, where he won a championship 6 times, 2-time final MVP, and of course, Basketball Hall of Famer. Joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. It's a huge question. I'll ask it anyway. How did John Wooden affect your life, Kareem?
Geez, in so many ways. Coach Wooden wanted us to learn how to become good citizens, good parents and husbands. Of course, he taught us basketball, but he only used basketball as a way to get to us. And of course, he taught us really the essence of the game. He was an incredible person, and I miss him a lot. You know, he was a wonderful guy. He was a big baseball fan too.
He was? No kidding.
Yeah. He liked the Yankees.
He was a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
I knew I liked Coach Wooden for a good
he liked
reason.
the catcher was Bill Dickey.
Yep.
He liked the catcher.
So were you in New York? What baseball fan were you?
I was a Brooklyn Dodger fan.
A Brooklyn Dodger fan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 1957, they moved to L.A. I cried. My mom had to console me, and then 8 years later, I followed them.
That's right. You came out here, and now you are a Los Angeles legend, to say the least. And that's one of the neat parts about this documentary, is how much is spent on what you have meant for this city and this city's sports scene, as well as a franchise that many people still consider the franchise in the NBA. With all due respect to where you and I grew up with the New York Knicks. So what do you make of the current state of the Lakers right now?
Well, I think they've probably improved. I expect that they'll probably make the playoffs this year, from the middle down. Yeah,
you do.
I think, especially if Hibbert gets rolling and just does a few things on defense, rebounding and blocking shots, it'll make the team a lot tougher to beat. They do have some talent there.
So when you look at this team, many people look at Kobe and how much money he makes, and that's sort of an anchor holding the team down. Would you agree with that assessment, Kareem?
Well, they're going to need more money to get better players. But Kobe's been a special player for this team, and from what Mr. Buss said, I think that they were trying to keep him happy, and at the same time try to improve the team, and that's hard to do. So they got caught in the middle of that.
So what would you counsel Kobe about his final days as an NBA player and figuring out when it is time to leave this game? How would you counsel him on that, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
I would just tell him to look at his heart and see what he feels. It's all about how he feels and what he thinks he can do for the team, and that's up to him. I'm not that close to him, so I don't know what's going on in his head.
When did you know when it was time to go?
I knew it was time for me to go when my stats started to decline, and I realized that I couldn't live up to the standards that I had set for myself. It's easy to think that you're going to play at a certain level and have it be consistent, but once you start to falter, I thought it was time to go. I wanted people to remember me at my best and not as some guy that was stumbling around. I remember when Willie Mays came back for the Mets, and it was good for a while, and then it went south quickly. And a player of his caliber, you don't want to see him doing stuff like that.
When did you first come up with the skyhook? When did you first try that?
A guy showed me, and I just got in touch with this guy over the weekend.
No kidding.
Since I was in grade school. His name is George Haydick, and he helped my grade school coach. And they said, look, Kareem is real clumsy. He doesn't know what he's doing out there. He's going to be a center. Look how tall he is. Give him something to do. So George showed me the mechanics of the George Mikan drill, where you shoot the ball with right and left hand right in front of the basket. And I started practicing that. That's all I had. So I said, I'm going to perfect this shot. So I started working on it. The superintendent at my grade school there in Manhattan, he let me have the key to get into the gym. And I'd go in and practice after school sometimes or on the weekend. And I just worked on that drill, the George Mikan drill. And by the time I was in the 8th grade, I could shoot the hook shot with either hand, and it was really an easy shot for me to make, especially with my height. And it served me so well. But that's how it got started.
How come you think other people haven't tried it as much?
I think it's not in style now. They all want to shoot three-pointers now. They're not interested in working with their back to the basket and taking a high percentage shot close to the basket. And anybody that can do that is going to still be a very effective player for their team, getting high percentage shots. When you can play inside and outside, you can. That versatility enables you to win in different ways. I think the young man that just came from Wisconsin,
Kaminsky?
Kaminsky, I've forgotten his name. Yeah, Kaminsky. He has that ability. He can play in deep in the pivot with his back to the basket,
right,
and he come out and shoot three-pointers. I think that's a great kind of versatility. Powell had that kind of versatility. He could play with his back to the basket or come out to the free throw line and shoot the ball accurately from out there.
LeBron just passed 25,000 points. Do you think he's got a shot to catch you one day at the top of this
He might. I don't see why not. Well, it depends on how long he wants to play. I think that they're making so much money now. He's going to retire when he's 32 and buy an island someplace. You know?
Or he can do what you did, and he already has gotten into acting. I don't know if you caught him in Trainwreck. Did you see that film?
No, I haven't seen that.
He's he was very, very good in that.
Oh, good.
He's very, very good in that. I don't know if it's airplane-like, though, Kareem. I mean, you in Airplane, I think you set the standard right there.
Well, I tried to do my best.
You did?
In that. I tease Shaq. I say, the movies I've done are better than your movies.
And how did he say? What did he say about that?
I don't know. Shaq sometimes gets mad at me. I think I might have said something about him at some point.
Because she's on Thursday. Do I need to broker something between?
Geez, yeah, I don't have anything against him. I think he had a great career. And,
okay. But your movies are better than his movies.
Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
How did you get? Let's start. I've got so many questions I want to ask you. Obviously about your basketball career, but the Game of Death with Bruce Lee. How did you get involved with that?
I started training with Bruce while I was at UCLA. We got to be friends.
Yeah.
And he said if I ever get a shot to do movies, maybe we could do a movie. Things didn't go for him as well as he wanted to after he left the Green Hornet. So he went back to Hong Kong and started to make movies that were very popular.
Sure.
And he said, hey, come on over, we're going to make a movie. So.
And then you did?
Then we did, and he died the next year.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
It was really tragic.
And then how'd you get involved in Airplane? Which is fantastic. It's one of my favorite movies.
The Zuckers talk about it in the documentary. You
Right.
can watch it tonight. But basically, they had written the part for Pete Rose. But they were shooting during the summer, and Pete was playing for the Phillies. So they said, all right, well, we'll rewrite the part for Kareem. I was available. I said, sure, I'll do it.
And did you come up with, was Bob Lanier the only guy that you told the kid to tell his dad?
I said Walton and Lanier.
Walton and Lanier.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. Did you?
Yeah.
Were those the two best that you to drag up and down the court?
Well, I think they figured that those were two names that everybody was familiar with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And is that your sense of humor, Kareem?
Yeah.
The Airplane movies?
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Yeah, it is. You know, I mean, Leslie.
And plus, here I am. I'm in a movie with Ethel Merman. Come on.
That's true. She was. That was the post-traumatic stress disorder that was going on in that movie. That's one of my favorites. And now, I know while we're on the subject of pop culture, I'm holding up, radio audience. I'm showing the book right here. Mycroft Holmes. You've written a novel based on Sherlock's brother?
Older brother, his older and smarter brother.
Right.
And this is his backstory. This is before, in this book, Sherlock's in high school. And Mycroft has just started his career as a functionary for the British government.
Right.
And things start happening that need to be investigated. And he takes a trip to the West Indies to see what it's all about.
And so, have you seen the Sherlock, the BBC Sherlocks? Have you seen those?
Yes, they're excellent.
They're fantastic. Benedict Cumberbatch is spectacular.
Right.
Martin Freeman.
They're doing modern takes on the original stories, and then Elementary. All of those stories are new.
Yeah.
But actually, just very well done. And Johnny Lee Miller is great as Sherlock. I like those because they talk about sobriety. In that Sherlock he goes to 12-step meetings because he's overcoming his cocaine addiction, and I think that's a good message in today's world.
So that's what's on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar DVR list at home is Elementary. What else are you watching?
I watch some of the good stuff, that's on HBO and Showtime.
Are you Game of Thrones guy? Is that what you're saying?
No, but True Detective, the first one, that was awesome. That was off the charts.
Can you explain to me what it was all about, Kareem? Can you explain?
These guys were just so, their personal lives were all screwed up.
Yeah.
But they wanted to solve these crimes and, these women being murdered. And even after they left the police force, it was still something that they wanted to get done, and they got it done.
Yeah.
And I think the key thing was the guy that was committing the murders, when they first saw him, he was sitting in a lawn mower.
Yeah. That was
And
the yellow?
they couldn't recognize him because he was a great big guy, but sitting in a lawnmower, he looked average height. And they missed that clue.
Time is a flat circle sounds like something that John Wooden might say back in the day, right? No?
Geez, I don't know.
No,
got me on that one.
I don't know if there's any True Detective and John Wooden connection. When was the last time you dunked a basketball, Kareem? When was the last time that happened?
Year before last.
Okay.
Just sometimes I'll go out there and see if I can still do it.
And?
I could the last time I tried.
Okay.
I haven't tried it
You get
recently.
up there. And when was the last skyhook you tried?
Oh, probably about the same time. When I was, Joachim Noah came to me. He wanted to learn a few things. I worked with him. I showed him some stuff. And when I was coaching Andrew Bynum, I had to show him a few things.
Do you still have desire to be a head coach in the NBA?
No, I've moved on. I'm at that point where I'm too long in the tooth to do that job. But I hope Byron gets the breaks that he needs to get a good team so that he can have some success as a coach.
Well, look, I'm thrilled that you came in here, Kareem. I'd love to have you back, even without a documentary or a book to sell. I'd love to just have you come back, and I could spend a whole hour with you, which I think I may have just done.
We got to get another Yankees-Dodgers World Series. So
I'm in.
So we can be at war again.
I'm in. I'm locked in on that right now. I would take that. I'd sign for it right
The Giants, they don't count for anything.
now. What, the New York Giants or the San Francisco
San Francisco Giants.
Who's your football team?
New York Giants.
They are?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Eli Manning's your guy? Or?
Yeah, and I've always been. I wore number 33 because of Mel Triplett. He was fullback when I was in high school.
No kidding.
That's why I wore number 33.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because of a football player is why you were
Right,
number 33.
yeah.
This is all good stuff. A Minority of One, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, tonight on HBO at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And go ahead and read Mycroft Holmes by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Thanks for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
What a pleasure.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure's all mine. We're back with more DeMarcus Ware and Charlie Weber still to come on this very busy Tuesday show. Welcome back to the Rich Eisen Show. So, Kareem, you were getting up, and then all of a sudden...
My
Who's
friend
this?
Bella.
Who's this?
This is my friend Bella. This is my manager's dog.
Okay.
She does love me madly, even though she's
Does she?
acting like this.
Bella, what's good? Is Bella upset because her mommy's off camera
Yeah,
right here?
she's off camera and she doesn't know.
Okay.
That's her dog father.
That's who's this? What's the name? That's the dog father is the name of this nickname?
That's what.
That's Kareem's nickname.
I love it. Your nickname is now the name of this dog, essentially? I love it.
It's okay, sweetie.
Is there a former teammate that this dog reminds you of? Kareem?
No, fortunately, no.
Okay.
I didn't have to play with any dogs.
Bella, what's going on? Bella, can you say hello? Can I get a kiss? What do you got? This is Kareem's dog? It's fantastic. Help control the pet population. Have your pets spayed and neutered. That's my Bob Barker shirt right there. Okay, Bella, you okay?
It's okay, sweetie. It's okay. It's okay.
You can let her down. She can go running around.
Well,
This is fantastic. You want to do that? It's okay. We're good.
okay.
Here we go.
Okay. I got it.
Here, let me help. This is the greatest. I love this. Here we go. Come on, Bella. Come on. You're good. You're good. There we go. Get on over there to your mom. This is fantastic. I didn't know you were a dog person, Kareem.
Yeah, I had a dog for a while, and then when he died, it just broke my heart.
Come on over here. Come on. Come to Kareem. I've never said that before. Come to Kareem. Come on. Bella, it's the greatest. I love it. I love that. It says the dog father on the harness. Because that's how you seatbelt the dog in the car, right? You don't mess around. Oh, yeah. 50 pounds. There we
She's a
go.
load, man. Oh, my God.
There she goes. Come on, Bella. Leave us a little special surprise.
No, she won't do that.
That'll be fine. That's fine. I don't care. Thanks for coming on, Kareem. Come
My
on.
pleasure.
Come on.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.